welcome to a very special partners project. We are right now at the YouTube headquarters in San Francisco, and I'm with Pete and Bobby Farrelly, aka the Farrelly Brothers. So thanks so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. And of course, your movie Hall Pass is in theaters right now.
I got a hall pass.
1 week off from marriage.
Just you and me, buddy, for the next 6 days. Let me log out. Okay, you log out. I'm gonna try to nail the receptionist.
And we're joined by a bunch of other YouTube partners, so this is an exciting conversation. And your humor is just so out there. I mean, obviously, all of us know your films, Dumb and Dumber, Something About Mary. They go down in history, really, in terms of the jokes and the videos now on YouTube that everyone keeps on watching.
Is that hair gel?
Yeah.
Great. I could use
No, you don't have to. You don't.
I just ran out.
So how do you come up with these crazy out there ideas?
That's a good one. You know what's the crazy stuff is about the last stuff we think of. We always think, how are we gonna create characters that you like enough that you're gonna allow us to do these these big outrageous gags too, like Ben Stiller in There's Something About Mary. It's like, how do we create a guy that you're allowed to get some of his personal stuff and make it into Cameron Diaz's hair gel. Like that's the tough part, is to create a guy that you like enough that we can do that.
And Dumb and Dumber, this is really interesting because you were never filmmakers. You had been writers on Seinfeld.
Well, actually, we sold one script to Seinfeld, but we weren't on staff.
So you had that credit though on your IMDb page.
We're happy to have it. Yeah.
And then how do you evolve from that to having a major motion picture, a huge movie that was very edgy at the time, and directing it?
Excuse me, gentlemen. This is a $500 plate dinner. Good night.
Oh, 500. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Here, put us down for 4, in case we want seconds.
It starts with this. At one point, we had that script for 5 years, and at one point our agent told us, he said, just make the thing. We're like, what does that mean? He says, just make it. And we're like, we have no money. He says, but make it for, what do you have? Like $1,000? Make it for $1,000. Just make the movie. How do you make a movie for $1,000? And his point was, he said, look, once you tell people we're making the movie, people perk up. They start looking at it. Like if you're saying, do you want to make this movie, and you're passing a screenplay around, we're trying to get this movie made, everybody's thinking, well, that's not getting made. If you say, we're making this movie, you want in? They'll look at it, because then they don't want to miss the boat. It is going to get made. If you're asking, help me get it made, they won't. If you're saying it is getting made,
you want in?
Yeah, then they're going to look at it. And that's really the turning point. We just decided to do it. We moved forward, and we just lied through our teeth about what we knew.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Or fake it until you make it.
Yeah,
did you guys do that?
Yeah, except we faked everything except the script. We really worked hard on that script. And
we met with this producer, and he was very influential to us. And he said, "Look, we were saying we're having a hard time getting it direct." He said, "Just go direct it, yourselves." And we were like, "Well, we don't know how to direct." And he said, "You wrote it. If you write it, you can figure out how to direct it. The writing's the hard part." And to this day, I think that we believe that.
Truth.
Your process is very much like you said, like just make it. And a lot of these YouTubers, all of us we had ideas and we just decided to do it, right?
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Wow, this is meta.
I know. I'll just ask you the question first. As people who have a background in traditional media, where do you see, I guess, the movie industry going in the next 5 years with the influence of new media? Is new media just another tool? Are the worlds merging? Or is it like a threat to the traditional media structure? Or just, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the movie industry is changing, rapidly.
Yeah.
As you know, and actually the business is down. It's on a downtick.
Okay.
And that's not good for the people out in Hollywood. But I think it has a lot to do with the fact that there's so much to watch, at home on your computer and YouTube and all that they're losing people. It's harder to make a movie. They used to make, I don't know how many movies a year, but whatever they were making, I think they're making about half of that nowadays. The movies that do get made are huge tentpole movies, with special effects and all that. And the smaller movie that just tells a nice traditional story, they're getting very, very hard to make.
Not long ago, the only choice you had as a consumer was your movie.
Yeah.
The other things, they came, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, you had certain shows. You could watch Seinfeld on Thursday night or Cheers or something like that. But you could choose to go to a movie any night. If you didn't like TV on Wednesday night, you couldn't get TV from Tuesday night.
Right.
You couldn't get something on YouTube, to entertain you. You had nothing, so you went to movies. you know, that was your only choice, and now there's so many choices. It's unbelievable.
What about the known correlation between floppy boobs and largemouth vaginas?
Okay.
You look down there, it's like, hey, I'm Billy Big Mouth Vagina. Home on the range, where the big mouth vaginas feel strange.
This whole thing with YouTube, you know, and the fact that in the past 5 years alone, the way that people are consuming content nowadays is just has changed so drastically, like with the introduction of, let's say, the iPhone, where we can watch these little videos on our phone, or now the iPad. So wherever we go, whether we're in our car or just waiting at the doctor's office, we can now consume content. How do you guys think this is going to change in terms of, is this going to be a threat to studio movies? Because now we're all making movies, we're all creating content, we're all just doing stuff that before we weren't able to do.
I think the studio structure now is a threat to that, but it's the greatest thing in the world for entertainment. Entertainment is going to get better and better and better because people can do it from anywhere. They can upload it on YouTube. They can create things from no matter where they are. It used to be you had to get, you know, leave Nebraska, go out to LA, try to figure a way to get into that little community, and you had a handful of people picking everything. Now that it's picked by the people. The people pick the best stuff, they find the best stuff. The best stuff rises to the top, and I think it's a boom for entertainment and quality entertainment.
The Hollywood studios are giving people a lot of money to make movies so that they're able to do more with it, with the special effects and all that. People are always interested in that, you know, with the Michael Bay type movies and the Transformers and things like. It'll be hard to make that at home.
But it is getting easier and easier to do that. You know, now the effects my kids use, when they're 10 and 11, are impressive. You know, they have little things that they're making these little movies at home, and they have all sorts of stuff.
Pretty bird. Yes, pretty bird. Pretty bird.
I love that question. Like, you know, what advice we give you? Well, the great thing that you have that we didn't have is you have YouTube. You know. And you can upload things and you can get it out to the world. We didn't have that. You know, I had to get out to California from Rhode Island and then try to figure my way into the building, you know. But what I see a lot is this. People are so giddy about making something and putting it on YouTube, they forget to take their time and write something really good.
What are those? Just some brownies of the pot variety. Are you as baked as I am? No, I'm fine.
But the truth is, the one thing we work hard at, is writing that script. And we pound it into ourselves. Like, we will not, you know, they don't all work, but we will, you know, we work really hard. And that's thinking really hard. You have to think on something hard, write it down. When you think it's perfect, put it down for a week and then think about it longer, make it better. You know, one thing we do is we like to read a script aloud. When I read a script aloud, I know what's good and what's bad because I can't wait to get to the good part. I'm like, and then they say blah, 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 blah. And then when the bad part comes, I'm trying to whip through it. Like, and then it goes in the other room and blah, blah. And I realize whenever I'm rushing through a script, there's something wrong with it. That's weak. And I know there's another good part coming, I want to get to it. But you should have no bad parts. You got to make it great. And then shoot that. You know, and that's the advice I would give. Then you could get noticed.
Well, thank you so much to the Farrelly Brothers. Should we have a little applause in our little group?
Thank you very much.
And of course, check out Hall Pass in theaters right now. Stay tuned on Thursday next week for another Partners Project. We'll see you soon.